Hi guys, and welcome to what is possibly the first of a bunch of YouTube videos. I've been talked into doing this. So a little bit of background about myself. Did RC racing for many years and gave up the hobby, and then decided to jump back in when I went all crusty and grey. And it's escalated from there. But I think this first video is going to be a little bit about what I've just purchased, which is the FTX DR8. Now, you probably know the DR8 in some other countries as the Reely Raptor, and it's also known as the Atom 6S. It's a 6S car, it's a dune racer, and to be honest with you, I was quite taken back by the car itself when I had a look at it online. For the price point here in the UK, it's hard to say no really to something like this. Now, I'm going to try and look at this from the point of view of someone who's new to the hobby. What I'm going to try and do is include points of interest on the car and stuff like that, and also a little bit of wrenching. I have got two other cars which I'm going to go through. One of them is heavily modified, and I'll explain why in that video. And also the other one is my go-to, really, my what can we say, old trusty. And yeah, I'm not going to proclaim myself to be anything but a learner, really, or someone who's had previous experience with RCs. I've got most of my knowledge from some good guys in the industry, and also people that I talk to on a regular basis. I'm in a bunch of a group, basically, Facebook group of people, and they've got an abundance of knowledge and always willing. And this is one good thing with RC. One thing I will say, there's no malice, should we say. No malice. If you ask a question, it's not a dumb question, it's a question, which is really nice. There are a couple of plonkers out there and stuff like that. You're just not going to help you. But the vast experience I've had coming back to the hobby is positive. And that's a good thing. That's a good thing. It's one of them hobbies that we kind of need sometimes to get a word out as well. But I've had great fun. So anyway, without further ado, what we're going to do is go and have a look at this FTX DR8, shall we? It's a 1/8 scale. It's a bloody big thing, but we're going to have a bit of fun with it. Right guys, so this is the FTX DR8. Now, it's a 1/8 scale dune racer. Alright, it comes, as they say, as 99% ready to run. Now, one thing I will say when buying a car this size and also this kind of money is you need to really have some sort of mechanical sympathy, right? Before running a car, any hobby grade car really, you need to also think about, right, okay, have I checked things like wheel nuts, all right? Have I checked diff fluids, suspension fluids, stuff like that? And I'll go over that when we're looking at the car, but let's just have a quick look at it, okay? So as I say, this is the FTX DR8. It's got some lovely features on you. I was quite, as I say, when I received the car, I think I received the car on Wednesday, and I've just been slowly going through the car, mainly because I've been waiting for some adapters for the batteries. But as you can see, she's a beauty. Couple of features to point out. As you can see, you obviously got the spare wheel on the back of the car. Now there's a lovely little tread pattern to these, and they do seem quite hard wearing. I've got a friend of mine who lives local, and he's actually got one of these, and it's an absolute tank of a vehicle, this one. 70mm hex adapters on the wheels, comes as standard. Lovely sort of grippy tyres. The side walls are nice and thick, alright, so they do have a bit of compression in them, but it does look like they're going to be hard wearing. Some lovely oversized oil-filled shocks there, and again, that's definitely something you want to check over. As you can see, cheeky little kind of play on words when it comes to the sponsors on the side of the car. You have a little scale feature inside, two drivers, as you would with the dune racer. little fire extinguisher. We're bouncing back then to the back wheel. And then looking over the top of the car, you get the spare wheel, which is functional as well, guys. All right, which is functional. And the reason why I'm doing this video, okay, so there are a fair few videos of DR8s out there, but not as many as people would think, actually. And when I was looking for information, it was kind of hard. So on the front, we got a lovely LED light bar. All right, and this is working. And then you've also got one at the back of the car. All right, now this one actually shows like a tail light, and also it looks like a reverse light basically. Now I'll go over this in a second. All right, there is two little upgrades which I would class as essential. I have found out by looking at the car. All right, lovely Lexan. Now initially I thought when I was buying the car, I thought the shell would be a bit flimsy, but I was really wrong actually, to be honest with you. And then lifting the car up, let's show you underneath. So it is a strong aluminium chassis on there as well, guys. All right, so this is going to take a bit of a beating. You would need to with the weight of this car. It is quite heavy, and the car actually runs on 4S or 6S. That's really where you want to be, is 6S. So to get the most out of the vehicle anyway. And I'm going to be running them on these China Hobbyline Racing Series 6600 mAh. And 120c rating, which is I'll pick these up for my 3S cars, and they've been nothing but really good. Does also come with controller. All right, so very nice looking. Is it as nice as something like an Armour controller? I'd say this is a little bit more plasticky, but so far, I mean, one thing I do like is having all the steering rate and everything out of the way, so you can adjust everything on the top of the handset. You have got steering reverse, obviously your bind button there, your throttle reverse, steering trim, throttle trim, and STDR is for setting your endpoints on your steering. So what do I mean by this? All right, so when you get the vehicle, obviously the servo that's inside the vehicle there, you're going to need basically to tell the steering how far to go without overstretching that steering and breaking it. Alright, so what this button will do is as you turn the wheel, alright, to the furthest lock, let's say we're going right hand side, you would then adjust on this button your furthest point. Let's say that's your steering there, and you've got it there, yeah? You may have a little bit more travel in that steering than you realise, or it's possibly that servo is pushing so far that he's going to wear your servo out, and we'll go into that in a sec anyway. And then your on and off button, as you can see, also gives you your power and stuff like that. So yeah, quite nice. I do like the fact that that's all hidden away actually underneath our neat little flap, because whereas obviously on your Armour vehicles, I have done it a few times. You've got knobs on the side of there instead of having the buttons. And I've picked the handset up in a rush, basically, to get out bashing and knock the buttons. But yeah, great. What I'm going to do now is pause the video. I'll take the shell off and we'll go into the actual car itself, okay? Right, guys, so we're back. This is the inside of your FTX DR8. Okay, so what I'll be looking at. That's the question. So the electrics package is one of the things that kind of drew me to this vehicle, because for the value for money, here in the UK, you're looking at this car cost me from Modelsport here in the UK, cost me £359. All right. Now, when you're talking £359 for a vehicle, that is normally what you would pay for something, let's say in a 110 scale. As I mentioned earlier, this is 1/8. Which means it's a bigger vehicle, but the main draw, I would say, for this is two things. Durability, I've been advised, is a very strong vehicle. That's number one. Number two was how good the electrics package is. Now, what you're looking at essentially is a Hobby Wing rebranded ESC, which is 150 amps. All right, that's the model number by there. All right, it's 150 amps, and you're also getting this really big, large can motor here. All right, so it's a 40 CV size motor, as you can see, 4274 and 2000 kV. Now you're going to need that, all right? You are going to need that for a vehicle this size, and also to run it on 6S. Now there is a little caveat to the wiring here, and I'll show you that in a second, because I bought some adapters because I am running EC5 batteries. One of the downfalls I picked up on with this car though, all right, is the servo. Now a few are saying that basically the servo is absolutely fine, 15 kilograms, but what I would say is the weight of the vehicle, all right, it is quite heavy. 15 kilograms, in my opinion, through experience of me using the cars so far, that's going to be a little weak. Now, I'm going to use this, I'm going to judge it, I'm going to see how it feels with that 15 kilogram in, but I am planning on upgrading this to, and I've had good experiences with the JX range, alright? So JX EcoBoost, it's the 21 kilogram high voltage, so it will give me quicker steering, but it'll also be a little bit stronger than this one. So we're going to see how this one goes anyway first. You are getting a receiver in a box there. All right, I could take that off and show you guys if you wanted me to. Okay, so there's your receiver in the box, as you can see. So you've got your throttle, steering, and also your input for the motor. There is a spare channel there for you to connect the fan if you wanted to, or I don't know, maybe light bar, or it's an auxiliary channel basically. Metal top plate for your steering Ackerman, alright, which is nice, keeps everything in place. These parts here are your chassis braces, is another point that I see a lot of people upgrading. I'm going to see how they go first. If it breaks, then I'll upgrade. So you've got your chassis mount there, and a chassis mount there going towards the back. Do like the way all the wiring's been routed as well. Now these, all right, this is for your lighting, and I'll show you on the actual body in a moment. You've got center differential. I've checked over this. Now some of the things I'm going to mention that you need to check over with the car, all right, before running, and this is, in my opinion, essential advice for a lot of people. I've had good experiences from it, and I do see a lot of people on Facebook groups and forums and stuff like that saying the car's broken. Speak to them about it, and they actually turn around and say, well, no, I didn't check over the car. It's like anything, all right? If you don't check, the problems happen in the factory. They may put it together, they may not put it together correctly, or they may not have tightened the screw down. And when you're out running these cars, jumping them off jumps and, you know, really giving it the full beans, things will happen. And if you don't check over them first and spot problems, chances are the part that you haven't checked, let's say, I don't know, maybe the center diff. If you haven't checked over the center diff, when you're putting all this power from this great big motor right the way through the drive chain, all right, something might happen with this, and then you're left with the scenario is, one, could you replace it with warranty? Probably, all right, within, no, the warranty for this car is 30 days. Two, you're then going to have to go out and buy yourself maybe, I don't know, a new diff or whatever it may be on the vehicle anyway. As you can see, some great big oversized shocks on the front of the car. As you can see, nice little, whoop, Christ, sorry about that. Some nice big shocks with preload tensioners on there. I have checked all through the suspension and everything. Everything seems to be okay. The shocks are topped up nicely. And then bouncing through to the back. Now, okay, you see these blue bits you see here, they're actually upgrades, okay? So in the pack, as you may notice here, in the manual, with the manual I should say, let's have a look. You do get a bind plug, all right? Now, what that bind plug is for is telling the receiver basically to work with this, all right? There's a bind button on there as well, and you would link one of the ports on the receiver, press the bind button, and then the transmitter and the receiver will talk to each other. It comes out of the box anyway, so there's no real issue for doing that. But bouncing back to the parts I changed, okay, bearing in mind the weight of this vehicle, as I said, is quite heavy. these do tend to give up on you. So this is the rear hinge pin holder. So at the back of the suspension, you've got all the weight to this car. Let's say you're jumping off a jump, you come down, boom. Obviously suspension compresses, bounces back up, or you may have a shunt or something like that. These plastic parts, all right, and I changed them out because I knew there was a common fault with them, and I've gone for the aluminium. Now, I would have picked up, there's a company called Custom RC Upgrades. Someone I speak to on a regular basis, Lee Wood. He does make these in 7075 aluminium, which is really, really strong. But it was a point of sale that I actually purchased this with the car, and I thought, right, we'll just get them out of the way, get them done. I probably will upgrade these to the Custom RC Upgrades, mind. But yeah, as you can see, they give you these little washers to space out the hinge pins. And also, that's at the back. Now, what that actually does is strengthen at the back end of the vehicle. So when you do come down off a jump or something like that, that's not actually going to give up on you, and then you're left out in the field, out of pocket, and stressed out because you've charged all your batteries up and you're out of the way. Okay, sway bars. There are sway bars on the vehicle. All right, so as you're turning, those sway bars are helping you to keep the vehicle sturdy. I do like the suspension. I had a little bit of a issue coming out of the box, basically, where the front end of the car wasn't returning back up. But spoke to Andrew, one of my friends on Facebook, and he said, look, just add a little bit of preload tension on the shocks, and they come out quite nice. Everything is ball raced. You have got adjustable turnbuckles front and back, as you can see, and again sway bars on the back of the vehicle. And then turning the vehicle over, let's have a little look at the bottom tree. It's metal gears right the way through, alright? So obviously you've got your metal spur gear here. I did check that over as well. And obviously a metal pinion. Aluminium motor mount. It's just a really, really nicely well put together car for the money. I'm going to be straight with you. I was kind of shocked when I received the car on how nice it was. I've been told over and over again, value for money wise. But yeah, it's a lovely, lovely vehicle. I'm going to run it. I'm going to show you the body now. Alright, so I'm going to press pause a second. And then, yeah, we'll have a quick look at the body. And I'll come back and have a little chat with you. Hi guys, so this is the body for the FTX. As you can see, as I mentioned earlier, you've got this great big light bar right by there for the front of the vehicle. Bouncing towards the back, as I say, you have the LED light bar right at the rear of the vehicle there. Okay, now underneath, those two little wires that we showed you on the chassis, that's how the lights attach. Now, one thing I will say, I will advise probably just to pick up some extensions for this, because when you put the body on the vehicle, it is, I don't know why they did it really, to be honest with you, but these wires, in my opinion, are too short. So just a little extension so you're able to remove the body off the vehicle and go from there. But as you can see, exoskeleton all the way around. Is a nice composite plastic all the way through, nice and thick. It's got a weight to this, actually, a real nice weight. Disregarding the wheel at the back, it still feels tough, and I was surprised looking at the actual body and everything how tough this actually felt. But yeah, I'm impressed. I am impressed. I think possibly, oh yeah, bouncing back to the actual. So I run EC5s, they're XT90 proprietary that come with the vehicle itself, so just be aware if you are buying this vehicle, you might need to buy some adapters. Now the reason why I didn't change it for EC5s is car comes with a 30-day warranty. If for some reason that speed controller, the ESC decides to pack in or something like that, at least I've got some sort of warranty to back me up at the moment. So that is the FTX DR8, and yeah, I'm going to bounce back up now and go from there, guys. Hi guys, right, so what do you think? I like it, I like it a lot. I haven't got a chance to actually run the car yet. As you can see, Welsh weather permitting, it's absolutely atrocious outside. So never mind. For a first run, I'm going to hopefully get the car out tomorrow, charge the batteries up, and take my other 2 cars with me and get out and enjoy a bit of the Welsh countryside. And that's the big part of this hobby. It's getting out, a bit of solace, a bit of fresh air, walking, something. I was finding myself kind of, since lockdown, not really getting out and about as much as I should. Just the fresh air, enjoying it. When I'm out and about, meeting people, having a chat with people, and sometimes just standing in a field by myself and enjoying what I'm doing. I go out with my daughter. My wife comes out, walks the dogs. It's just a nice side to the hobby. Solace, peace and quiet, enjoying the fresh air. Just be aware, obviously, a few things to mention on the DR8. Make sure you check the shocks. Make sure you go through the screws on the vehicle. Make sure you check the mesh between the pinion and the spur gear. Set your endpoints on your steering, as we mentioned. I'm trying to think what else now. Diff fluid, important. All right, check your rear, check your front, and check your centre diff. And then just basically go out and enjoy the car. That's what I'm hoping to do tomorrow. I hope you enjoyed this little look. I'm not a YouTuber, guys. I'm not a YouTuber. And I hope, really, you get out and enjoy yourself. Have fun. See you soon. Oh, fingers crossed.